the like electric charges repel and unlike electric charges attract. Because they are electric charges, there will be electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between the electric charges. That means both the point electric charges exert some amount of force of attraction or repulsion on each other. Even there will be gravitational force between the electric charges, because the charges always possess mass, and if there are certain masses which are separated by certain distance, there will be gravitational force. But electrostatic force between the electric charges is quite dominant over the gravitational force. So today in this video we are going to learn about how to know the amount of electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between any two point electric charges which are separated by certain distance. The electrostatic force between those point electric charges which are separated by certain distance was quantitatively measured by Coulomb. Using a device, torsion balance, Coulomb has measured the amount of electrostatic force between them. So what Coulomb says? According to Coulomb's law, if there are any two point electric charges, say Q1 and Q2, separated by some r distance, then the electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between these two electric charges, they may be both positive, they may be both negative, or one positive, one negative. Electrostatic force between them is directly proportional to the product of electric charges and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance of separation between the electric charges. And when we club these two, we will get F directly Q1 into Q2 by R square, and when we remove the proportionality symbol, we put is equal to and a proportionality constant, and proportionality constant in this case is that factor that depends upon the medium in which these point electric charges are placed. So here F is equal to constant K Q1 into Q2 by R square, and this is the mathematical expression of Coulomb's law. So using this formula, we can quantitatively tell the amount of electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between any two point electric charges. What is the meaning of point electric charges? If there are two charged metallic spheres, say for example, these metallic charges, if they are placed at very far a distance from them, then both of them are considered as a point electric charges. It is very similar to stars in the sky. They are huge balls of light or fire, but because they are very far away from us, for us they are point sources of light. Similarly, if charged metallic spheres are placed at far a distance from each other, for us they are point electric charges. And Coulomb's law is valid only for point electric charges, and that too the point electric charges have to be at rest. If the charges are in motion, then Coulomb's law do not hold. So the point electric charges have to be at rest first. Next, if out of the 2 point electric charges, one is at rest and one is in motion, then also Coulomb's law holds. So what are the limitations of Coulomb's law? 1. Coulomb's law only holds for point charges. Coulomb's law holds for point charges at rest, and Coulomb's law holds if point charges, out of the 2 point charges, one is at rest and one is in motion. And if both the point charges are in motion, Coulomb's law do not hold. However, this is the mathematical expression for Coulomb's law. F is equal to K Q1 into Q2 by R square. This formula also indicates that electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between point charges is inversely proportional to the square of distance of separation between them. So here none of these relations, that directly proportional to Q1 into Q2, inversely proportional to R square, these are not guessed by Coulomb. These are measured by Coulomb using the device torsion balance, which was made by Coulomb. And the device torsion balance was in the later years used by Henry Cavendish to verify the Newton's law of gravitation. Why? Because Coulomb's law is also inverse square law, and Newton's law of gravitation is also inverse square law. What is the meaning of inverse square law? The meaning of inverse square law is, say for example, we take distance of separation between the charges along x-axis and the electrostatic force between the electric charges along y-axis. Then the graph between them appears something like this. This graph indicates that as the distance between the charges become more, the force between them becomes mild. And very obvious, if electric charges are very close, force between them will be strong. And if charges are far away, force will be mild. That's it. So this is that. Also, you can understand that, say, if distance of separation, just see this formula, is doubled. If distance of separation between the point charges is doubled, then R is doubled and it is R square. In that case, electrostatic force between them will become 1/4 of the original one. And if distance of separation between the electric charges is halved or half the distance, then electrostatic force between them will become double the previous one. So this is how the electrostatic force between the electric charges exist. And this is the way we can quantitatively measure electrostatic force between the point electric charges which are placed in some medium. Right. Then let us look into the vector notation. Vector notation of Coulomb's law. So according to Coulomb's law, if there are any 2 point charges Q1 and Q2, instead of writing Q1 and Q2, let me write Q1 and Q2. Just consider that both the electric charges are positive. Let us call, these are positively charged. So they will exert repulsive force on each other. The electrostatic force of repulsion between these 2 electric charges always lies along the line joining the centers of these 2 electric charges. However, these 2 electric charges are separated by some distance r. And how the electrostatic force acts on each other? So the force exerted by the second charge on the first charge will be along this direction, and we will call this as force on 1 due to the second electric charge. And the first charge exerts a force on the second charge in this direction, means the right side, and this force is we can call it as force on second charge due to the first charge. And when we take the force exerted by second charge on first charge, we will take the distance or the position vector as r1 minus r2, and this acts in left side direction. And when we consider the force on second charge due to the first charge, we will take it as r2 minus r1, and this will act in right side direction. That means r1 minus r2 acts in left side direction, r2 minus r1 acts in right side direction. So the position vectors are in opposite direction. Now let us see how to write the vector notation. Vector notation is very simple. See, whenever we write a vector, how do we write? We write the modulus of a times the unit vector that works or that acts in that direction. So a vector is a mod into a unit vector. Similarly, we can write force on the first charge due to the second charge in vector notation as K Q1 into Q2 by R12 square. So this first part is about the magnitude. So I have kept mod. K, Q1, Q2 however are constants. Only the direction vectors mod I have written. So if we want the vector notation to this, we have to multiply the unit vector in that direction. In F12 direction, unit vector is R12 unit vector. And how do we write unit vector? Unit vector is the vector divided by its modulus. So here we can write R12 as R12 vector by R12 mod. And what is the R12? R12 is R1 minus R2. Okay. So this one we can write as F12 vector is the K Q1 into Q2 by R1 minus R2 mod square times R1 minus R2 vector by R1 minus R2 modulus. And this denominators are in mod form. So we can write F12 electrostatic force on first electric charge due to the second electric charge in vector notation is K Q1 into Q2 by the denominator modulus will multiply R1 minus R2 modulus cube, and we have here R1 minus R2 vector. So this is the vector notation of Coulomb's law. So mathematical expression of Coulomb's law in vector notation is this. Also we can write force on second charge due to the first charge in vector notation. On the same lines, it is a K Q1 into Q2 by R21 mod square. And because we are writing the vector, multiply to this the unit vector in that direction. Unit vector in that direction is R21 unit vector. And what is the R21 unit vector? It is the R21 vector by R21 modulus. So we are going to replace that, and we'll have K Q1 into Q2 by R2 minus R1 mod square times R2 minus R1 vector by R2 minus R1 modulus. And finally assembling the statement, we will get force on a second charge due to first charge is K Q1 into Q2 by R2 minus R1 vector modulus, denominator 2 and here 1, so product form, so bases same, exponents add up. So here to the power 3 times R2 minus R1 the vector, and this is also the mathematical expression of Coulomb's law in vector notation. Now R12 and R21 only differ with the direction vector. So when in R1 minus R2 is in the left side direction, R2 minus R1 is in the right side direction. So due to that, force on first charge due to the second charge will be equal in magnitude to force on second charge due to the first charge, but they will be in opposite direction. So from these two mathematical expressions of the vector form of Coulomb's law, we can conclude that force on first charge due to the second charge is equal and opposite to force on second charge due to the first charge. And this indicates that Coulomb's law is in accordance to the Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion. So, electrostatic force between point charges which are placed in a certain medium is always along the line joining the centers of masses, and Newton's law of motion, it is in accordance to that. So this is about Coulomb's law, its mathematical expression and its vector notation. Few more minutes on the same video. So according to Coulomb's law, we came to know that, I'm just writing here since according to Coulomb's law, F is equal to, I'm back in the magnitude part. So F is equal to K Q1 into Q2 by R square. So this is actually mathematical expression of Coulomb's law. So here Q1 and Q2 are point electric charges which are separated by some R distance, and F is the electrostatic force between them. And then what is K? K is the constant of proportionality or the proportionality constant. Here if say Q1 and Q2, though they are point electric charges, they have 1 coulomb of charge on them and they are separated by a distance of 1 meter. Then electrostatic force between 2 point charges having 1 coulomb of charge each separated by 1 meter distance is K 1 into 1 by 1 square, and finally F is what? F is equal to K. So this is the electrostatic force between 2 point electric charges. Point electric charges, electrostatic force between 2 point electric charges having 1 coulomb charge each, of 1 coulomb charge each, separated by 1 meter distance. Right. Now, how to calculate K? K is calculated using the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon. And what is epsilon? Epsilon, this is called A-P-S-I-L-O-N. We call it as epsilon. Certain things are silent in it. Maybe P is silent. We call it as epsilon. So here epsilon is the permittivity. Epsilon is the permittivity of medium. Epsilon is permittivity of medium. If these electric charges, the Q1 and Q2 that we spoke right now, these electric charges are placed in vacuum, then epsilon naught is a permittivity of free space or vacuum, whose value is approximately 8.845 into 10 to the power minus 12 coulomb square per Newton meter square. I'm sure I'm right. From the laws, so epsilon is coulomb square by Newton meter square, right? So this is the SI unit of this. As a result, we can know what is K. K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught if electric charges are placed in vacuum. Sometimes in air also we take this value only. So this number, when we evaluate, we get 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square. So therefore, if electric charges are placed in vacuum, then if the electric charges possess 1 coulomb of charge each, separated by 1 meter distance, then electrostatic force between them will be equal to K. And how much amount of force will be there on 1 coulomb of electric charges separated by 1 meter distance? Electrostatic force will be 9 into 10 to the power 9 newtons. Right. So this is all about Coulomb's law. So Coulomb's law is called inverse square law. Universal or Newton's law of gravitation is also called inverse square law. Electrostatic force between point electric charges placed in a medium separated by some distance is calculated using the formula KQ1 into Q2 by R square. Gravitational force between the point electric charges, because electric charges possess mass, is calculated as a G m1 into m2 by R square. So these two are inverse square laws. They look alike, but they are different. So what are the similarities? What are the similarities of electrostatic force and gravitational force? There are clear-cut two similarities. One, both are inverse square laws. Both are inverse square laws. Both are called inverse square laws. Both the forces lie along the line adjoining the centers of the masses or electric charges. Electric charges possess mass. So both of them lie along the line joining. That means this will repel this like this. This will repel this like this. So these are the similarities. And then what are the dissimilarities? They are similar, but they are dissimilar also. So what are the dissimilarities? Dissimilarities between electrostatic force and gravitational force. Dissimilarities are: 1. Electrostatic force depends upon medium in which the charges are placed. Why? Because F is K Q1 Q2 by R square and K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Epsilon is permittivity of medium. In the next video, we will know about permittivity or a dielectric constant. Right now, we are talking about Coulomb's law. And force of gravitation is independent. Independent of medium in which the masses or the electric charges which possess masses are placed. Second dissimilarity is G, that is used in calculation of gravitational force between the electric charges, is a constant, and K, which is used in the calculation of electrostatic force, is a variable, is not constant, that varies. And always when we calculate that electrostatic force is far greater than the gravitational force between the electric charges. So these are the similarity dissimilarities. I spoke about electrostatic force. It depends upon the medium in which the electric charges are placed. Electrostatic force is only valid for point electric charges. What are the limitations? I said electrostatic force depends upon, it's valid for point charges which are at rest. And if one charge is at rest, another charge is in motion, then also electrostatic force or Coulomb's law holds. But Coulomb's law is not valid if electric charges or the point electric charges are in motion. They are the limitations. And this is all about Coulomb's law. It's a vector notation. The similarities of Coulomb's law with Newton's law of gravitation and the limitations of Coulomb's law. And in the next video, we will know about permittivity of free space, relative permittivity, which are otherwise known as a dielectric constant. And thank you for watching this video.